Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Will with KMI, and today I'm going to be going over the Sani system, its purpose, and how it operates. So the purpose of this machine is to give you a diluted biocide solution that meets your facility's parameters every time you use it, so you don't have to manually make down any sort of solution. This machine will give it to you every time. So the main components of this system consist of a primary and secondary mixing tank, and you have a auto or manual control box and a remote switch to turn the system on or off. This is ideally placed on top of the wash rack, so you don't have to come down and manually press this. And then you have your air supply here with an air pump, and that will pump the diluted solution up to the fogger. So I'm going to go through a step-by-step of how the system operates. First off, you want to turn on your main water supply. Each mixing tank will have a water valve on it. You want to turn your first one on. This is going to draw in your biocide and mix it to your first dilution. And then you go to your secondary tank, and it's going to draw in this diluted solution and further dilute it to your final product. So each tank will come with a check valve that has a dilution tip attached to it. This controls how much of the biocide is actually going to go into here. And you have one on going to the second tank on your second check valve, and this is doing the same thing, controlling how much is being drawn from tank 1 to tank 2. And you'll be given a set of metering tips that is color coded and a tool for easy removal. And to check your final dilution, you can go to your test valve and use your strip paper there to make sure you're at the right calibration. So once you've calibrated your system, we'll move on to the control box. This is controlling your air system that'll supply the fogger. So you have two settings. You have auto, which will allow this remote box to work up on your wash rack by just pressing this button. And you have a manual setting. If this is pressed, it'll activate it as long as you hold this down. Before opening this box, you want to make sure it's powered down. But inside you have a timer. This is in second increments. So you can do, if you do like 256 and 64, that'll roughly be 5 minutes. But you can set it to whatever time you need. We have it for 4 seconds right now, just for the demonstration. And I'll show you how that works. So I'm gonna hit auto, and then I'm gonna press this button. And it cuts off after 4 seconds. Now you can do it manual, and as long as I'm holding this down, it's going to run it. So now that we've gone through the main components of the Sani system and the biocide part of it, we're going to look at the other options that this board supplies. Down here you have a two-way airless foamer. You have two valves coming off from the sides. You can choose between two different products. Just make sure you flush in between switching them and that you have the right one on that you want. You'll just turn your water on and should be good to go. last part of our system is the three-way bottle filler. So this works by having a draw line into whichever chemical you have labeled here. Each one will have its separate draw line and the bottle filling hose. So you're gonna place this into your bottle and press this down. Fill your bottle. You can calibrate this using metering tips if you need it further diluted. And you can also adjust the hoses to whatever length you prefer. Thanks for joining us today. I hope this helped you understand how the Sani system operates. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to customer service or myself. Have a good day.